Hi, my name is Deborah Henney. I'm a wife, author, mother, speaker. Today I want to release a prophetic word entitled Ring of Fire and Beulah, which I originally received on May 5th of this year. And I'm kind of putting the Watchman and this word all together, the series of words together, because they are linked one to another and also linked to an initiative of prayers in Israel and over Israel that correspond with the scripture verses that God was highlighting in these words. So the first part of this word came as a vision, and I saw a person, not nondescript. I couldn't really tell gender or facial features, but this person was kind of almost bowed over, and then it looked like a ring of fire just ignited around them and then they stood up as this fire blazed and became like a tower around them. Then later on in the week, I heard the name Beulah, and when I looked that up, it meant married. And God was really connecting that with specifically the ring of fire, which kind of made me think of like a wedding ring. And then he highlighted the chapters Zechariah 2, Isaiah 62, and I was at work, and lo and behold, there happened to be the song playing called Ring of Fire. And in that song, even though it's a secular song, God highlighted a couple of phrases in it, talking about the phrases that the flames went higher and the taste of love is sweet. Those phrases in particular were highlighted from the lyrics of that secular song. So when I looked up Zechariah 2, he specifically highlighted verses 1 to 5, and I'm going to read them out here. And it says, "Then I raised my eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man with a measuring line in his hand. So I said, 'Where are you going?' And he said to me, 'To measure Jerusalem, to see how wide it is and how long it is.' And behold, the angel who had been speaking with me was going out, and another angel was going out to meet him. And he said to him, 'Run, speak to that young man there, saying, Jerusalem will be inhabited as open country because of the multitude of people and cattle within it. But I, declares the Lord, will be a wall of fire to her on all sides, and I will be the glory in her midst.'" So that went with the ring of fire vision that I saw. But as I said, then it was like a few days later, I heard the name Beulah. And as I said, I looked it up. It means married. And this name, Beulah specifically, is found in one verse in Isaiah 62. Now, and the reason I'm connecting all these to the Watchman is because later on in this chapter in Isaiah 62 are the passages associated with the Watchman in Israel, and is specifically a key part of, from what I understand, of that prayer initiative in Israel. Okay, so Isaiah 62, 1 to 4, in the NAS it says, "For Zion's sake, I will not keep silent, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not keep quiet, until her righteousness goes forth like brightness, and her salvation like a torch that is burning. The nations will see your righteousness, and all kings your glory, and you will be called by a new name which the mouth of the Lord will designate. You will also be a crown of beauty in the hand of the Lord, and a royal headband in the hand of your God. It will no longer be said to you, 'Forsaken,' nor to your land will it any longer be said, 'Desolate.' But you will be called, 'My delight is in her,' and your land, 'Married.'" In the New King James Version, it says Beulah. But in your land, married. "For the Lord delights in you, and to him your land will be married." So as I prayed on all of this, the phrases from the song that God highlighted, the two scripture passages, I had them both up in front of me on my computer, and I prayed into, God, what are you saying here? Because there's a lot of different pieces going on. What I felt him say was many of you have felt like the land is desolate. You have felt emptiness, and even the formless space of chaos in your lives. Hear my voice calling to you. Open your ears to hear my voice crying out to you, even in your wilderness. The desert may be a place of preparation, but it is not your promise. Emptiness and chaos may be the beginning, but it is not the end. I am the God whose breath breathes life and whose words create order. I am calling you forth into my covenant promises brimming with blessing. Come, taste of my goodness, taste of my love, taste and see that it is good. Let my love, my passionate zeal, be a protective fire around you. Let my glory surround you as you come deeper into my presence and my chamber. My fire will tower higher and higher about you, encircling you, making the way before you, sealing what is behind you, and cutting off what is to the side. Sink deeper into my love, into my depths, so my fire can burn ever hotter and higher around you. See, open your eyes. See that though you have felt forsaken, you are never abandoned. I am ever delighting and rejoicing in you. You are a joy to me. Let my joy be a wellspring of strength and life in you, welling up to brimming, gushing into overflowing rivers of exuberant joy. Yes, my joy and my glory will overflow and flood, going forth before you, breaking through walls previously built by human hands and designs. I will set the bounds. Your bounds will go forth, leaping in measures of faith and authority determined by me and through your obedience. Do not conform to predetermined bounds. I have the measuring stick. I have and am measuring, and I will set the bounds. My glory, my wall, my ring of fire will be the determination of your bounds. Go with my glory. So, as I typed out these words, as I felt the Lord leading, it was really such a, in the beginning, that almost more that comfort and that hope. And then in the end, it was like, I could feel like God's excitement and joy just bursting forth. Like he was celebrating this promise that he's unleashing in our lives. And I love how at the end, and at the end I felt him going, my ring of fire will be the determination of your bounds. Go with my glory. So it's like, as we go in our lives, where are we feeling the glory of the Lord going before us? Like as I'm going to the grocery store, as I'm going to work, as I'm going to church and I'm ministering, as I'm running errands in the community, where am I sensing the presence and the glory of God? Lean into it, because it's like he's saying, this isn't going to look like it's been done before. It's going to look different. And we shouldn't be limiting ourselves by our human imaginations and our human preconceptions, because God is doing this in a whole new way, a whole different way, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be like this unleashing of glory. But in order to see that in our lives, we have to participate and lean into where the glory is leading us. And as we go into where the glory is leading each and every one of us, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be incredible. I just have this great sense of, when you taste and see of the goodness of God, there's going to be like, not just words and deeds of encouragement, hope, but like supernatural, miraculous deliverance, healings, so, just even as we go about our daily business, that God is calling us to take his glory out of the church walls. And he's calling us to press into that and see the incredible release that he's going to bring. I know lately I've been sensing, as I go out to dinner with my family, sensing that God is saying, there's somebody here for you to minister to. And, I tend to have a little bit more of a reserved personality. So for me, it's like, okay, take a deep breath. but press we all, every single one of us, need to press into that and go with the voice and the promptings and the glory of God, even outside of those traditional walls, because God is the wall, and God is that wall of fire that's going before us. He's sealing what's behind us. So, things in the past, even if they're good things, if they're not God things, He's sealing that past. Same thing with the sides. There's bad things and then there's good things. But if they're not God things, then they don't need to be there. And God, if we're pressing into that glory, He'll seal the behind, He'll seal the sides. And as we just kind of move forward, we can release that overflow and that abundance of glory that's going to release this rejoicing. I have such a great sense of celebration and joy that God is doing, that we're going forth with rejoicing and going forth in the glory. And it's going to be incredible. It's going to cause a big shift in the temperature of our culture and the climate and the atmosphere. It's a very exciting time. But again, the part that we need to respond to is to be obedient and to press into, be sensitive to those nudgings, those promptings, and press into the presence and the glory, not just when we traditionally think we should be, because that's where we're going to see that big outpouring. So I hope that you find that encouraging. I find it very exciting. Anything that God is doing is such a wellspring of hope and promise and rejoicing. So until next time, be blessed.